meeting to order. We're running about 10 minutes late, but it's hopefully a short meeting, but it's a much needed meeting. And I want to welcome Jeff Bobo with the review here, Chuck Smith, Nancy Barker with the chamber, Mark DeWitt, our county mayor, Lynn Tully with the state, and Clay and Michael with Networks, and some of you may not know Joel Conklin, our attorney, and it being a call meeting, we can only discuss the one item that's on the agenda today, and I do want to throw out a piece of information. We're anticipating an engineering report based on the property from Damascus Engineers. They sent them in. I spoke with Keith Latham, and he's excited and moving forward, and he said within the next few weeks we should be receiving an engineering report on the battery energy storage facility that's ongoing. Today we're discussing Project Rock and some things that have come up on it that I guess in my opinion are very positive, but somewhat complicated, to say the least. And so I asked Joel if he would come down, and Michael and Clay here to answer any questions that you have. And Joel, I guess just turn the meeting over to you then, and
sure.
Rather than go into executive session, just we try to keep it in code names and things. So, kind of tell us where we're at, Joel.
Right. So this project is still under development. So the relevant parties have asked that we, trying to keep it confidential as possible as far as their participation goes. But what we're doing today, in just 30 seconds of history, Project Rocks, that development has an existing option which was approved by this board a year or so ago on the 140-acre tract in Phipps Bend, obviously to develop their project. They've been working over the last months very diligently on putting together a financing package for this project, and they've made some progress on that. And so as part of the project financing, the owner of the Project Rocks development has requested an amendment to the existing option agreement, which would allow the assignment of the option to a new project investor who's part of this financing package, part of the financing team, who in turn would then purchase the property from Phipps Bend at the agreed price and provide other substantial capital to fund the final stages of project design, engineering, and site development. So this investor is providing not only the capital to purchase the property, but also very substantial capital to complete design and engineering to get the project to the finish line, is the idea. The new investor would then lease the land back to the project under a long-term ground lease where the facility would be constructed. The amendment at the new investor's request would waive Phipps Bend's reversionary interest in the property. So what that means is typically, well, not always, but often in transactions, we have put clauses in the contracts that said if the project was not completed within a certain time frame, that the joint venture would have certain rights to reacquire the property either at a certain price or under different terms depending on the project. Well, this investor has requested that that be removed for obvious reasons, in that they're investing significant dollars, not only in the purchase of the property, but the site development. And if the project, obviously, we're all hopeful and fully expecting that the project as proposed moves forward, but we do plan for contingencies in case something happened. And so if the project did not move forward, they would want to be able to then try and redevelop that property for, to get some return on their investment. And of course, that property is subject to the existing Phipps Bend Park restrictive covenants. The new investor has also agreed to some additional restrictions that this board has come up with that would prohibit Bitcoin or other cryptocurrency mining and related operation, solar farms, animal testing facilities, or methadone or similar clinics without the written consent of the board. So that's why we're here today. The board, as I mentioned previously, approved the option, but this would authorize an amendment to the option. And because it is a substantial change in structure, we felt like the board needed to be aware of what was going on and also approve the revision, the requested revision. So with that, I'll turn it over to Larry. Is there anything else that you think I need to add or I may have missed regarding the request?
The one thing that it does include is data centers, which would require, considerable amount of electricity, and they have asked that not be excluded. But otherwise, the current restrictions plus everything Joel mentioned would be excluded from their future development. But Jimmy?
Is property zoned industrial or manufacturing, or what is there's no zone?
That's what the covenants rule in that case.
Yeah, the only restrictions are what was placed on the park originally when it was first developed, which I actually have a copy of if you'd like to see. And then these additional few items that we felt like would be wise to add as far as exclusions, and they agreed to that. But that's the only restrictions on how the property can be used other than just general law.
The board would reserve the right on those restrictions to still allow those on the vote, though.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, it may turn out that we might want a crypto operation of some sort 10 years from now or 20. I don't know, but
Right.
They can't do that without our permission. Sometimes they've had a negative connotation that could change.
But does everyone understand that basically the property will transfer hands fairly quickly, I guess?
They have indicated that they want to close the purchase soon. Within the next few months is what I would anticipate. We'd sign the option pretty much immediately with the amendment to the option, I should say. And then at that point, the new investor would have the right to close at any time. And our understanding is they expect to go ahead and close soon, which would mean that they own that 140 acre
Right.
tract.
So the actual industry wouldn't own the land, an investment group would purchase the land, then in return, a long-term lease to the manufacturer.
Right,
Okay.
and the probably like a 99-year type
Yeah.
lease. That's not uncommon in a financing structure like this. I mean, it is a very large investment and very complicated capital arrangement, but that's how that would work.
Any other
Still go,
questions?
does our recommendation here still have to go through county court?
No.
And my understanding is, we know the Phipps Bend joint venture has approved the changes, and I think Sullivan County has, or Kingsport has also.
Yeah, let me just speak to that. The Phipps Bend joint venture sort of managing committee met 2 weeks ago or so, voted unanimously to approve this. Well, it was last Monday,
Yeah.
not this past Monday, but the Monday before. And then the Kingsport Economic Development Board met the following day on the Tuesday, and they approved it as well. So Phipps Bend is in essence a joint venture between this entity and Kingsport Economic Development Board. So anytime property's sold or substantial contracts are entered, both bodies have to approve them.
What in the event they wanted to, grow bigger, request more land, does this tie us up to the same, deal with the further purchase of property?
Well, I don't think this is 140 acres, so this is the vast majority of what's left in the park.
Yeah.
Someone correct me if I'm wrong on that.
Pretty much, this will about, pretty much end, there's a couple of plots, that we have shown, outside of this. There's actually 146 acres as best we can come up with. This does include the cooling tower base, and we're selling it at a lesser price than the 22.5 that's being considered for the rest of the remainder. Very good price that we're getting for the property also, which will substantially enrich the Phipps Bend joint venture for possible other ventures. But you understand, this takes it off the table as far as Joel said, of coming back and saying, oh, well, we've got somebody else, you know. But you gotta understand that they're gonna want to sell it and develop it with somebody in mind, if this thing falls through. And that's the contingency that gives you, I guess, a little bit of heartburn, is that we lose control of it. But, other than with our restrictions and things.
If this, company exercises their option to purchase, they will have to start paying property tax on it.
Correct.
Yes.
Full rate, the pilot we've discussed before is not associated with the purchaser of the property. It's going to be associated with the project itself.
Project.
They understand also about the electric deal goes with Project Rock and not with the property also. That,
If they brought another prospect in, we'd have to start that
You
whole
gotta
process
start over.
all over.
you gotta start over.
My feeling is this will put them over the finish line to make this project go. I mean, it's a real good chance from what Larry and I and Rebecca meets with, and Joel's been in some of them, and of course, Clay and Michael. I think this is the one little nudge they need to get across that finish line.
And we've actually met with the developers, or the investors themselves, along with the developers, and have checked them out as best we can. We feel very good about their history.
I think the state's checked them out, have they not, Clay?
Yes, I talked to Lynn about it, and I talked to Alan this morning. I got
Yeah.
together with him, and I spoke to Assistant Commissioner Alan Porter about it. They remain excited to support the project.
Lynn, you have any comments or anything?
No, we've been working with this particular company for a couple of years now, and so, I'm excited to see it get closer to the finish line, so, yeah. Just keep your fingers crossed. We have a change in administration, and so we hope everything goes nice and smooth throughout all of that, and we can make an announcement, so just hang in there.
Well, this, we feel fairly confident that the new administration will go along with it, since there is quite a large, DOE grant associated with it, and I think everybody's that we've met with is excited about it. So it's just a change in, what would you say, ownership of the property, if it goes south. Whether it goes south or not, you're gonna have a different ownership of the property.
Well, they're not really going to invest that kind of money for it to just sit idle, obviously. That is the step of saying, if we purchase this property, something's gonna have to be used, because they're not in the business of throwing money away.
And they even said in their earlier meeting, hey, you know, if you've got if this thing doesn't, you know, we're obviously talking about the contingency of it not happening, we hope doesn't happen, but if that were to happen, you know, they're all ears about us bringing them prospects, continuing to market the property, you know, so, you know, we would still have that skin in the game, so to speak,
Right.
as far as trying to push industry and job creation and economic growth, just like we do today. We just have to jump through the little extra hoop of making it work with them as well.
But there'd be
And to
no
that-
competing interest.
Right.
Yeah.
And to that point, I think they promoted to us that they also have prospects. So, I mean, so it's not like they're coming empty-handed either, should this
Right.
not
Right.
come to fruition.
Right.
There are others that they've got already that they work with regularly, so.
Well, I think this is a step forward. This is certainly,
Do you have something to say?
a good sign that, you know, they've gone out and got these investors, and like I say, we've met the investors and checked them out, and everything seems to be very positive. But they did want to try to, lock this thing down before the end of the year, before the new administration takes
Tax year
over.
too. New tax year too.
If you watched the CNBC this morning, you saw the man of the year walking through the New York Stock Exchange. So a lot going on in New York and Washington D.C. right now. So, does anyone else have any questions? We want to try to make everybody as acutely aware of what is going on. As you said, it's a very positive step forward, we think, in the progression of Project Rock.
Larry, I move to accept the change, the proposal changes.
Okay, I've got a motion, do I have a second? I've got a second. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, unanimous decision. Anything else for the good of Hawkins County and the city of Kingsport to talk about today?
If anybody wants to talk to me about
Yeah.
anything, you know, I'm available for you.
We had a nice luncheon, by the way, yesterday at the Hosted Business Development Center, which some of us attended, and that organization's doing well too. Liz Bennett is doing a great job, and she's got that facility almost full, and things are going well. So wish all of you a Merry Christmas and a very prosperous New Year, hopefully. So.
Motion.
Stand adjourned.
Thank you all.
Thank you. I think it.